Bueno, ¿cómo estamos? Lo prometido es hecho y estamos aquí con una celebridad de TikTok. Pues nada, más que nada quiero presentarles a mi amigo que conocí más o menos que,
Got
con-
Aladdin in the background too.
que conocí por internet y pues quiero que sepan su historia. Él es americano, pero bueno, más que nada, pues ya, no digo nada más, que se presente y pues bueno, lo vamos a hacer en inglés. Can you introduce yourself, my friend, to my audience?
I think he did a pretty good job. I am a nobody he met on the street.
We're guy that I met just today.
So,
Your history. I want to share your history with the people in Latin America.
oh yeah, well, let's see. I'm wanted by the United States FBI, and I have an Interpol red notice. They've tried to extradite me 3 times from multiple countries, all countries with extradition treaties, and they have failed, including European countries. I spent time in Bulgarian prison over this, and they have attempted abductions, of which I have court records of as well. And now I have political asylum in Russia.
Oh, okay, very interesting. How is life for you? How is life for you in Russia right now?
Oh,
How do you feel?
it's very good in Russia. I mean, a lot of people think that I just ran to Russia because it was safe or something, but I originally moved to Russia in 2001, so I just came back. It wasn't like I was snowed and I got trapped here. This was my destination. It was where I was always trying to come back to.
Okay, you are married with a Russian girl, right?
Yes,
Uh,
she's crazy. Yes, да, да, моя жена из Иркутск, да. 23 лет сейчас уже.
23 года женат на русской.
Да, 23 года уже. Да.
Nice. So, do you get some? How's the relation with your wife? I mean, if you have different type, I don't know, because you
Oh,
born in USA and
well, let's see. We met in Spain, and then I came to visit her in Russia. And I'd been to Russia once before, and I just never left. And that was 24 years ago. And the first time I came to Russia, I've lived in about 12 countries. And the first time I came to Russia, I can't quite describe the feeling. This is before I even met my wife. It was the first place I kind of felt home. And a lot of people have described me as a Russian soul born into an American body. And that may not make sense to a lot of people, but to a lot of other expats who live here, they understand it. There's
yes,
just certain
for
people
sure.
that felt like they weren't born in the right place. And when they get here, and it's not only here, some people, they find their place in Mexico or South America. It just, some people are just not born in the right place.
Okay.
And for me, I found my place.
Me too. I think Russia is a very nice place. And what do you think about the people who think like here right now living Russia is bad? Because we are living in one different in a weird moment of life that we have too many propaganda from the USA because
Yeah.
everyone say like it's very bad right now. You can see the streets and
Yeah,
it's
well, it
dangerous.
did take me a long time to get used to having to go outside and crap in the streets. Not having an indoor toilet. It takes a long time to get used to, especially in the winter, because if you don't go fast, it freezes.
Yes.
No, seriously. No, everything's good here, guys. We all have indoor toilets, and life is very good here. I would say that, job for job. So of course, people make less here, but things cost a lot less too. I always tell people, they're like, yeah, things have to cost less because people make less. That's not the way it works. People make less because things cost less. They don't need to make as much. It's the opposite relationship, actually. And I would say, job for job, most people can have a better life here. If you compare a McDonald's worker here, McDonald's is actually one of the lowest paying ones. You can make more money at KFC and others. But a fast food worker or say a janitor or an engineer, if you compare their lifestyles and you put all their bills and everything together, most of them, maybe not 15 years ago for sure, but under the last 5 or 10 years, most of them can have a better life here because you don't have education debt. The transportation is very good. The utilities are cheap. The healthcare is included. And so when you factor in all these things, most people can actually have a better life here.
Okay, another topic that's really, really good. Thanks. Another topic that I want to ask: what do you think about the discrimination? Because in Mexico and all my audience think that here in Russia they're going to suffer discrimination, stuff like that. Because as I already hear in your interview, from USA we have too many videos about that, like go back to your country, this is not your country. Like right now in Spain, that is the stuff that the people don't want more tourists to come to visit Spain because there are too many people. What do you think about Russia? Is welcome
Well,
with the
I probably
foreigners?
have a different perspective than most people because remember, I look Russian, so
Yeah.
it's a bit different. But if you're asking me if, obviously when I speak Russian, I have an American accent or an English accent. So people, the thing is, I'm trying to practice my Russian. I speak Russian, and people speak English back to me because they can tell. It's like a Russian you can tell when they speak English normally. But I mean, from that perspective, I've never had any problems, being an English speaker or identifying as American. But I can't speak for, being a Latino or a black or anything else. But I have many friends here who are, black or Muslims. We just talked to us, these things, and they've told me they don't have problems here, and I would perceive it to be especially compared to the U.S., that they're not even on the same level. They're in different worlds. That the levels here, no place has zero. But here, it's just so low that it's fairly negligible. And what we do have here, I wouldn't really call racism. At best, I would call it discrimination. I mean, sometimes people from the former republics like Uzbekistan, Tajikistan, sometimes there can be a little bit of discrimination or a little bit of down looking, sometimes. But I wouldn't even call it to the level of racism. Most of them are very welcome here.
Yes, me too. As I already told you, I think Russia feels very welcome with the people because they want to know about your culture, where are you from. As you told me, they back you to speak in English when you try to speak Russian because they try to talk with you like, oh, okay, I know you don't speak my language, but I want to try to communicate with you.
But they want to practice their English.
Also
So,
to practice, yes. Okay, back to your situation. How was it for you get your passport for as a
yeah, that was
political passport?
political asylum.
Yeah, yeah. How was the process to get it?
Yeah, it's not handed out easily. I mean, if you come from Ukraine or Syria, you can get it on war conditions. But even then, only about 25% of those applicants get that. But to get it on reasons of political, and especially against the United States, that's not common. It's maybe one person per year.
Get the passport.
Yeah, from the U.S. I know there was Snowden, there was Tara Reid. She had some connections, but she did get it. I know of another American who did get it, but I only know of because we kind of know each other. We kind of have like, I don't want to call it a club, but I only know, including Snowden, I only know of 4 Americans, and I know many Americans who have been denied it. So I only know of 4 Americans in the last 10 years. There might be 1 or 2 others, but it's just not that common. So the procedure was, I had to apply, and I was initially I had to apply at the local level, and they denied it. So we appealed it up to the federal level, and I used an attorney who only deals with this type of thing, only deals with immigration and specifically asylum, and he said he's never seen it approved at the federal level, ever. He's seen it, sometimes the courts will enforce it. But it got signed off. I got sponsored by somebody in the Duma, which is like for Americans, would be like the Senate. And somebody sponsored it, and it was signed off by the top people in the Department of Immigration. So somebody stepped into my case and approved it. And while I can't prove what I'm about to say, my suspicions are that when it got kicked up to the federal level, the security services looked at it, and they knew about my history, and they knew that I had been asked to spy against Russia, and I refused, and that it's kind of a thank you. Can I prove that? No, but that's the most likely cause why I got it. Just seems to fit because when it got kicked to the federal level, they would have done a much more in-depth, investigation into me, and it just makes sense because it came back really quick too. It was, really quick on appeal. It was fast.
Okay, sorry, I think I already need to start with that. But why the FBI is looking for you? For what reasons?
Why do they say they're looking for me? Or
Yes.
oh, sorry,
Or,
that was not an earthquake. That was not an earthquake.
yes, what was the first reason that they was looking for you?
Well, they say they're after me for kidnapping, but the thing is, the kidnapping they've accused me of happened at a time that I was not even in the United States. So it's pretty hard to kidnap somebody when you're not even in the United States. And the person that they accused me of kidnapping is now 28 years old, and not only said I didn't kidnap him, but he said he's never been kidnapped in his life. So put the pieces together.
When you was working in Microsoft, right?
Yes, yeah.
You was working in Microsoft at that moment.
Yeah, I was a regional director and also a regional developer advisor, and I had high-level meetings with, the Saudi royal family and the ministers of Pakistan, so I dealt with a lot of high-level government customers.
Oh, nice. So with that passport, Russian that you have, you only can fly like in Russia, or you can
Yeah,
go
no,
outside?
I can't go anywhere because the Interpol red notice. I've already been arrested by Interpol before, spent time in Bulgarian prison, been through 3 extraditions, so yeah, well, I mean, and there are some places I can go. I go back to Cuba. I was in Cuba.
Nice.
I could go to North Korea, and I can go to Iran. So I am kind of on a
destination.
global FU America tour. So at some point I have an invitation to Iran, and I do have an invitation to North Korea, and I'm just going to go, just see what it's like, and,
Different tourists. We can do different
yeah,
tourists.
yeah. So
So you can say that invite the people to come here to Russia.
absolutely. I mean, I get questions from Americans all the time like, would it be safe for me as an American? I'm like, are you kidding me? You, as an American or as anybody, you'll be safer in any Russian city than you will the average American city. I have a friend that lived in New York, and I forget the exact stats, but he got mugged like 3 times in 8 years or something, or 5 years. I don't remember the exact, but he's like, I never get mugged here. And I have other friends that told me similar experiences that they feel way safer here, even as a tourist. I mean, the worst thing that's going to happen to you is if you don't pay attention to your wallet, and it's like sticking out of your pocket, and you walk down the main tourist area, yeah, your wallet might pop out, but chances are police are going to find it. I've seen police do amazing things here to find cell phones. They take that stuff serious. I've seen people forget their cell phones at a restaurant, and somebody just picks it up later, and the police will still track the person down and get the cell phone.
Yes, they do. Really
Yeah, they
good
do. I've seen
work.
transit police. I saw a video of transit police. Somebody took a cell phone out of somebody's pocket or something, and the transit police, not a normal police, chased the dude down and tackled him to get the phone back.
Yes.
So they take, it makes a big difference when you take even petty crime seriously, whereas in a lot of countries they're like, petty crime, we're police, it's not worth our time. Here they take it seriously, and it's a part of their job too. So it does make a big difference. And, the only other thing I would, there's the honeypot schemes, like if you're looking for, let's call them an escort, because there are some foreigners that come here and they're like, oh, I'll just, I'll pay for a date, let's call it that. And you can get scammed that way. But, if you're not looking to pay for a date and you're not looking to have your wallet hang out like, hello, take me, that's the worst thing that's going to happen here. And
Yeah,
if you do
like-
that, you're either asking for trouble. I mean, you can ride the metro any time of the day, any time of the night. You're going to be completely safe. I mean, I often drink a lot of Minion juice and walk home at 3 o'clock in the morning, and no one ever bothers me. I mean, the worst thing that happens is somebody will stop to ask me directions because
Yes.
they're lost, or they'll be like, yeah, I drank a lot and I forgot where I live. And I'm like, well, I can't help you about that, dude. Do you remember anything about your house? Do you remember your phone number? Maybe I can call your wife. No, nothing ever happens. I mean, it's just, it's very safe.
Oh,
And it's not always been like this. I mean, I lived here. I first moved to St. Petersburg in 2001, and it was not this safe back then. But even then, I felt safe. But now, gosh, I mean, and I've traveled to 70-some countries. You could not find a safer place. And with the ruble to $1 or euro right now, you're gonna live like a king here.
Yeah, you
you
can-
come here and you're gonna have so much fun, and the people are so friendly. And yeah, there's enough English here that if you don't speak Russian, especially as a tourist, you're gonna get by. I have a friend that lived here. He's lived in Moscow 8 years and he doesn't speak Russian, so you're gonna get by just fine.
bueno, ya lo oyeron del hombre más buscado, señores. Bienvenidos a Rusia. Y bueno, espérenos para más aventuras por ahí. Nos vemos pronto. Hasta la vista, pa' acá, pa' acá.
Hasta la vista.
Hasta la vista.